Two unit tests of 20 marks each and a semester of 60 marks, right, sir?
Sorry?
Two unit tests of 20 marks each and a semester of 60 marks.
No, 80 marks.
Okay.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Hello, it is 80 marks.
Yes, sir.
So it is semester exam will be 80 marks and then average of 2 unit tests. It is not best of 2. It will be the average of 2 unit tests. Uh-huh. Can you see the screen?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
This is the syllabus. So course code is MEC 303 and course name. Course means subject. Course name is production processes. So we will have 4 hours per week and like that there will be 12 weeks hopefully. So 48 hours of teaching. There is no practical, there is no tutorial, there is no term work. So there will be 4 credits. The examination scheme, test 1 is 20 marks, test 2 is 20 marks and average will be taken out. It is not best of 2. And then end semester exam, if it is offline, then it will be for the 3 hours, 80 marks. So the total will be 100 marks. There is no oral, there is no term work, no assignments.
Yes, sir.
So course is nothing but a subject. And what is your program? Your program is what? The program is mechanical engineering. Okay, program name is mechanical engineering. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yes, sir.
In every course, it has some objectives and it has outcomes also. So you must know what is course objectives and what is course outcomes. So we call it as a COPO. So CO is nothing but course outcomes and PO is nothing but the program's outcomes. So at the end of the semesters, what is the outcome of the course and what is the outcome of the program? And this CO and PO has to be mapped. That is, we have some program outcomes and we have some course outcomes. So what is the relation between these two? That is what is called the mapping. So the subject name is production processes. There are 4 credits. This is a credit based system. So let us understand what are the objectives. So objectives are to familiarize with the various production processes. So what are the different production processes? Then to study appropriate production processes for a specific application. Like suppose if I ask you to manufacture tables, if I ask you to manufacture say 100 tables, so what will be the appropriate production process? And if I ask you to make one table only, study table, then what will be the appropriate process? Both the processes will not be same. Then what are the third objective is what are the various machine tools which will be used for the manufacturing? Machine tools means machines like you may be knowing lathe machines, milling machines. Unfortunately, it is online teaching. You are not done practicals offline, but little bit you must be knowing lathes, milling, grindings. So to get familiar with these machine tools, then also to understand the working of non-traditional manufacturing. Non-traditional manufacturing means unconventional machining, like EDM, that is electro discharge machining, wire EDM, EBM, that is electron beam machining, laser beam machining, water jet machining, and what are its applications. Can anybody tell me the application of laser in health?
Sir, used in
To
Okay.
operation,
destroy tumors.
Yeah.
retina surgery.
Very good. Yeah. What else?
uh, where more precision is required.
Yeah, no, in health industry, like one said that to destroy the tumor. Okay.
Cataract surgery.
Yeah, cataract operations. There is a fungus which is developed on the retina. So we drill a hole, a small hole. Okay, and from there we send laser, and that laser will crush that fungus. And then from another side again, a hole is drilled, and from that hole, the crushed particles are sucked. So that is application of laser. Another application of laser is crushing the stone, kidney stone. Stone, no, kidney stone, because if you drink, less water, and if the urination is not proper, then there is a salt formation, and then that salt gets stuck in the urinary tract, and there are tremendous pains while passing the urine. So first you have to detect where the stone is, and then again same, drill a hole, okay, send the laser and crush the stone. So these are the regular operations now. So this comes, all this laser beam machining, electron beam machinings, those comes under the category of non-traditional machining. In intelligent manufacturing in the context of Industry 4.0, so nowadays it is all digitized. You cannot imagine society without computers. Even though you are doing mechanical engineering, 50% uh, is computer oriented, so you cannot escape out of computer. It's a computer driven society. So digital manufacturing is nothing but sitting on your table at your home. You can run the factory in USA or across any corner of the globe. You can control, you can start the machine there. CNC machine, suppose if you have, you can start your CNC machines in USA. From here you can operate, you can monitor. That is what is nothing but the digitization. So what should be the outcomes? That is what you should deliver as a student. So you should be able to demonstrate a casting process. See, we have objectives, and then outcome is a subset of objectives. Outcome is a subset of objectives. Then we should be able to illustrate principles of forming processes. Forming processes means what? Like rolling a, forging a, drawing. These are called the forming. That is, it gives the forms. It gives form to the products. That is called the forming processes. Then various types of welding processes like arc welding, CO2 welding, submerged welding, argon welding. Then chip forming processes like turning, milling, where the chips are formed. Then this is the life, that is polymer components and ceramic component. That is, polymer is nothing but plastics. So here we should be able to hmm, illustrate what is injection molding, what is blow molding, transfer molding, and how the ceramic components can be produced. Then non-traditional manufacturing, and then digitization. The syllabus is so vast that I used to take this subject, whatever syllabus is there, I used to take it in 4 semesters. So now we have to finish it in 1 semester only, and it is tremendous. So those who want to learn more and more, they can always interact with me. I will help them. But I also understand that our basic requirement is that we should pass and we should score. Hmm. So we should focus on examination also because it's very vast, like production processes, introduction to production process, what are the different production processes? That itself takes 4 to 5 lectures. Then metal casting, that takes another 20 lectures. What is casting? Casting is nothing but it gives basic shape to the product. It gives basic shape to the product. Then joining processes like bolting, welding, riveting. This you are familiar. Riveting, you must be familiar. Like when you travel from railway, and if you happen to stand on the bridge, so you will see riveted plates. The bridges are made up of riveted plates. On the sides also, you can see the riveted plates. So those are permanent joint. Welding itself is very vast. Then forming processes like forging, rolling, wire drawing, sheet metal working processes. This itself is a subject for one semester, complete one semester. Sheet metal working. Sheet metal working means all the operations which are done on a strip or sheet, and usually it is done on presses. Usually it is done on the presses. So that is what is your sheet metal operation is. Then these machine tools, machining processes, gear manufacturing, that is lathe, milling, drilling, which you are familiar in the workshop. Then gear manufacturing. So I hope you know, all of you know what is gear is, which is used for transmitting the power. Then tool engineering includes the tool design, that is how to design a cutting tool, single point tool, multi-point tool, plus introduction to jigs and fixtures. It is just the introduction. Remember, jigs and fixture again is a subject in one semester. So not even 4 semesters, it is actually 6 semesters. Then non-conventional machining, that is electrochemical machining, EDM, ultrasonic machining, and laser beam machining. So no doubt there are many unconventional processes. So we will focus on these four only. And then polymer processing, polymer is nothing but the plastics, then powder metallurgy, and intelligent manufacturing. This is what is your syllabus is. Fortunately, there is no term work and there is no oral. Then there are so many books to refer. You have, and most of the books are there in our library, like Welding Technology by O.P. Khanna. So many books. So now, as I said, every module uh, is made up of 2 to 3 subjects, and like that, there are 6 modules. For example, now this module number 6. So this plastic processing is one subject. Powder metallurgy is another subject. Digital manufacturing is third subject. So here minimum 3 books will have to refer. Here one book, so 4. Here again 3 books. So that comes to 7 books. Rest is minimum one book, 8. Forming minimum one book, 9. Joining के लिए welding and this minimum one book, 10. So like that castings. So dozens of books you will have to refer if you want to really understand and study properly. And this is a core subject from mechanical engineering point of view. From your placement and from your interview point of view also, this is very important. Like suppose you want to join the industries like say Godrej or L&T or Mahindras, then this subject plays very important role. And in next semester again you have CAD CAM, so that also plays very important role. So instead of referring to all these books, what I suggest reference, that is look at number 8, that is Production Technology by PC Sharma. So you refer Production Engineering by PC Sharma, not Production Technology by PC Sharma. Refer to Production Engineering by PC Sharma. The Production Engineering by PC Sharma includes all this rolling, forging, castings, press tools. That is 15 pages, 20 pages per subject, per per chapter. 15 to 20 pages per chapter. So from examination point of view, you can refer that book, Production Engineering by PC Sharma. That one book is sufficient. You want to score also. So that was about your syllabus. I'm not scaring you, but I'm just telling you the depth of the subject.
Understood.
Yeah, yeah. I'll close this. I wanted to show you some videos. I'm just checking it. Okay, I'll get the videos on some other day. Now let us start with introduction to manufacturing processes. That is your module 1. Yeah, just have a look at this tree. Have a look at this. I'll give you 2-3 minutes. Sorry. Yeah. So manufacturing processes are classified basically under two heads. That is, in case if you don't understand, you please stop me and ask. That is processing operations and assembly operations. And processing operations are further classified into shaping of processes, property enhancing, surface processing. And here assembly operations are classified under permanent joining and mechanical fastening. Now let us see what are the shaping processes. Okay, so shaping processes, the meaning of shaping processes that it gives basically the shape, you know, it gives shape to the product, it gives shape to the object. And how that shape can be given, that shape can be given by processes like solidification processes, which is nothing but casting, particulate processing, that is nothing but your polymer processing, deformation processes are nothing but like your rolling, forging, drawing, and then material removal processes. Material removal processes means processes which are done on lathe, milling, grinding, etc. So Pedneker, what do you understand by shaping processes?
Sorry, sir.
What do you understand by shaping processes?
Uh, the way the material is shaped and like.
Yeah, it gives the shape to the product or it gives the shape to the object. And what are the different methods? Solidification, particulate, deformation, and metering. The next is in processing operation, property enhancing process. So property is changed like heat treatment. So heat treatment, it's again a very beautiful subject. Heat treatment. So there, what we do, we heat a particular metal or non-metal. Okay. Then we hold it at a particular time, that is called the soaking time, and then we cool it. So when we do these kind of operations, the properties are changed. Like if the material is soft, it becomes hard, it becomes brittle. Hmm. So this is what is called as the heat treatment. It is basically used to soften the material or to harden the material or to relieve the stresses. And this is done only by heating, soaking, and by cooling. Okay, so there are ways how to heat, there are ways how to soak, and there are ways how to cool. The cooling can be sudden cooling, that is, you just heat the material and just drop it in a drum containing coolant or containing water or containing oil. Why I said it's very beautiful subject, because not only how do you cool, but it also depends what cooling medium you are using, whether you are cooling in air, whether you are cooling in water, whether you are cooling in oil, whether you are cooling in furnace itself, the properties will change. And how the properties are related? The properties are related to the microstructure of the material. Like in human body, how the properties are related in human bodies? Pedneker? Hello.
Yes,
Peter,
sir.
this, yeah, how the properties are related in case of human body.
Uh,
Anybody else? Shreyas or Akhil or Sandra? There is something called as genes, isn't it?
Yes,
yes,
sir.
sir.
That decides the properties. The same thing here in metals also, in materials also, there is something called the microstructure. Do you understand the microstructure? Like suppose if you take a material and if you see under electron microscope, what is the magnification of electron microscope? By any chance, do you know? Anyone? Please feel interactive. I will trouble you only in the first lecture so that I understand why I am interacting, so I understand how much you know, and then accordingly I can increase, reduce my speed. So please be interactive, it's going to be good for you. Anyone, what is the magnification of an electron microscope? Okay, what is the magnification of a microscope? Come on, 10 times, 50 times, 100 times, how much? I have given you options, whether it is 10 times, 50 times, 100 times, or 1000 times. How much? How much is the magnification?
Sir, 10,000 times, sir.
10, 10
10,000 times.
times.
So now I was asking about electron microscope. So in electron microscope, the magnification is 10 to the power 5, that is 1 lakh. So 1 lakh times you can see. in electron microscope. Electron microscopes are available in IIT, available in TIFR, available in BRC. What is TIFR? Anybody?
Tata Institute of Fundamental
So
Research.
there you can see, all these advanced tools, machines. What is BRC? Bhabha Atomic Research Centers. They also have electron microscopes, and IIT they have electron microscopes. So because of this advancement in technology and 10 to the power 5 times, magnification, you can see what is there in the protons. You can see what is there in the neutrons. Uh, that is what is called the subatomic particles. So microstructure is nothing but the what is the end product in a particular product. That is what is the grain structure. Like we talk about genes which gives the properties or hormones which gives the properties to the human being. So similarly there are microstructures like martensite. Martensite is a grass like structure. So if you get microstructure as martensite, then obviously that product is going to be very hard. There are other microstructures like perlite, coarse perlite, fine perlite, globules. So these are the different microstructures which you obtain by heating, soaking and cooling. The way you heat means what? You can have 2 heaters at a time, you can have 4 heaters at a time, so that the temperature increases suddenly, all of a sudden. Like we have room temperature of say 32 degrees Celsius, so you can increase the temperature from 32 to 200 degrees Celsius just by having 2 heaters or 3 heaters in just 10 minutes. But that is for the sudden heating. Hmm. It's not a gradual heating. So if you heat suddenly and if you heat gradually, there is a tremendous difference between the properties. And same thing, cooling. If you cool suddenly, and if you cool gradually, there will be difference in the property. Like suppose if you come from very hot temperature outside, बहुत गर्मी है, it's very hot, you are perspiring. Okay. Like outside temperature is 40 degrees Celsius, and then you go home, and your parents will always say, don't switch on the AC immediately, or don't go into the AC room directly, where the temperature is 18 degrees Celsius, and you are coming from the 40 degrees Celsius. It is not advisable, you know. Like in material, suppose 100 degrees Celsius ka material, if you keep directly into 20 degrees Celsius environment, sudden cracks can be observed. Sudden cracks. Why? Because the outside temperature is 100 and temperature in the room is 20 degrees Celsius. So there is no time. So that's why it will, there is no time, it's a sudden. So there is no time to drop from 100 degrees Celsius to 20 degrees Celsius. So obviously the material has to crack, and same thing will happen with you also, with human body also. So normally we say, we have to play with our body within plus minus 2 degrees Celsius. Like suppose if don't drink even chilled water also. Like suppose if your body temperature is say 35 degrees Celsius or 30, let's say 38 degrees Celsius, you should take your fluid or liquid, which is within the range of say 36 to 40 degrees Celsius. The body can absorb it properly. Don't take chilled 20 degrees Celsius, or don't take even too hot 50 degrees Celsius. Same bathing also. Don't take very hot water shower. The plus minus 2 degrees Celsius is advisable. Same thing cooling. When you're cooling the material, again it has to be cooled properly, gradually. जैसे कि हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, जोर का धक्का धीरे से लगाने का, धीरे से देने का. Like suppose if somebody is expired, so we don't give the news directly. अरे वो तुम्हारा X, Mr. X वो गुजर गया. We never tell him directly. उससे क्या होता है, सामने वाला जो सुनने वाला है, he gets shocked, he may get attacked. So हम लोग उसको slowly slowly बोलते हैं. So the effect is different. अरे he was sick for many days. Then family doctor को contact किया, उसने नर्सिंग होम में एडमिट करने को बोला. नर्सिंग होम वहाँ पे 7 दिन था, फिर थोड़ा बड़ा हॉस्पिटल में लेके गए, फिर उधर भी बोले नहीं यू टेक इट टू स्टिल बिगर हॉस्पिटल। तो सामने वाला क्या तैयार हो जाता है, ही बिकम्स रेडी to hear the news, and then you tell, then finally we could not save him like that. So this all actually started because of this heat treatment. Very, wonderful, uh, very beautiful subject. Then surface, so property enhancing मतलब क्या, प्रॉपर्टी को चेंज करना है आपका। Properties you understand, like some is very hot temper, some is very short temper, some is humorous, some is non humorous, some is very sincere, so uska property change karna hai, okay? So heat treatment is the best process to change the property. Then you have surface processing operation. Surface processing matlab kya, surface ke upar operations which can be done only on the surfaces, like cleaning the table. uh, हमारा surface के ऊपर operations क्या करते हैं हम लोग, we can have pant, we can have shirt, we can have trousers, then shorts, jeans, etc., so that we look beautiful. Then on the face, we can have makeup of 1 inch, isn't it? Then eyebrows and whatnot and hairstyles. So these are all surface processing operations what we do on our human body. So same operations can be done on metals also. For cleaning purpose, not only for cleaning, we can coat it, we can deposit. So this coating and deposition is required to enhance the corrosion properties. Like suppose, for example, mild steel. Some things I take granted, like what is MS, mild steel. It's very general purpose steel. So it can be corroded if it is subjected to the water or moisture. So if you galvanize it, that is if you apply a coating of zinc, okay, then it becomes corrosion proof. Then you have permanent joining processes. Permanent joining processes मतलब what? It cannot be dismantled easily. So welding, अगर आप weld करेंगे तो you have to use grinding wheel to cut it. Same thing is for the brazing and soldering, and same thing is for the adhesive bonding. Okay, so depending upon the strength we select these processes. And mechanical fastening. So these are mechanical fastenings. Again, you have permanent and temporary. Like say if you use nut and bolt, I hope you understand what is nut, what is bolt. So if you use nut, bolt and washer, you can dismantle it, you can assemble it easily. And permanent fastening methods means like riveting. Suppose if if you use rivets to join the two plates, it becomes permanent. Means you have to destroy it, you have to destruct, you have to use the destructive techniques to dismantle these two plates if you are doing riveting. If you have any doubt, please ask. Please feel free to ask. Then from your examination point of view, this is important. This, like suppose if you talk about machining processes, why I have switched over? Because you know what is machining, because you are familiar with the lathe. Because in the first year, you have been taken to workshops. Of course, online. So there are chip removal processes, means in which the chip is formed. I hope you know what is chip. Like if you cut a job on lathe, you will get a chips. If you cut a job on drilling machine, you will get a chip. So what are the chip removal process? When chips are formed or chips are removed. Okay, so what are the different machining processes? You have drilling, you have CNC lathes, you have turning, you have milling, then grinding. What is the difference between turning and milling? The major difference between turning and milling is in turning, the workpiece is rotated about its axis, whereas in milling, the workpiece is stationary. Then in turning, the tool is fed, and in milling, the workpiece is fed. Fed means moved. Like your parents, your mommy feeds, you the food when you're younger. So that time, similarly, the feeding means how fast the workpiece is moved across the cutting tool. So it's a kind of a velocity, surface velocity or cutting velocity. Then grinding also the chips are formed. Obviously the turning में the chips बड़ा form होता है, and in grinding the chips are formed very small. Then shaping is used to produce the flat surfaces by reciprocating tool motion. Then again in planing, so this is shaping is a machine, planing is a machine which is used to generate the flat surfaces. Then saw means power hacksaw or hand hacksaw or band saw. This is used to cut the round bars or any, not only round bar, it can be for the flat also. In workshops you can see power hacksaw. You might have used hacksaw to cut piece, that is called as the hand hacksaw, and you may be familiar with the bandsaw. So bandsaw there is a blade which is continuously moving elliptically. Then there are processes which are called as the chipless processes. Chipless. In chipless, the chips are not formed. Okay, and what are those chipless processes? They are forging, they are rolling, they are stamping, shaping and embossing. Forging मतलब लोहार काम, लोहार मतलब क्या, पार्टिकल को गर्म करना है, ऑब्जेक्ट को गर्म करना है और उसको शेप देना है. ओके, हैमर से, दैट इज व्हाट इज कॉल्ड द फोर्जिंग. मींस व्हाट, यू आर हीटिंग अ मटेरियल टू रेड हॉट टेम्परेचर एंड देन यू आर हैमरिंग इट. जैसे कि चीजल बनाते हैं या सॉस बनाते हैं, सो दे आर मेड बाय चीजल, दे आर मेड बाय फोर्जिंग ऑपरेशन, फोर्ज. अगेन इन फोर्जिंग यू हैव कोल्ड फोर्जिंग, हॉट फोर्जिंग, देयर आर डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ फोर्जिंग. लेकिन इसमें क्या चिप नहीं होता है, देयर इज नो फॉर्मेशन ऑफ चिप्स. गरम करना है, उसको ठोकना है हैमर से. यू कैन डू हैमर फोर्जिंग और यू कैन डू डाई फोर्जिंग ऑल्सो. डाई मतलब क्या, कैन एनीबडी टेल मी? प्लीज फील इंटरेक्टिव, बी इंटरेक्टिव
Mold.
प्लीज. Yeah,
Mold.
die and mold. Like in routine example, like say idlis. Hmm? Do you have die for the idli, for making idlis?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How many cavities are there, Sandra?
Uh, yes,
Cavities you understand, no? Like
yes, sir.
Yes.
uh, how many?
It
Do you
depends
help your
from
mother?
mold to mold, I guess.
Yeah,
Six
No, no.
to
depends
seven.
I'm talking about this idli making equipment at home.
Six
घर
to
में जो
seven.
इडली बनाते हैं, हाँ, एट अ टाइम कितना इडली बनाते हो? दैट इज व्हाट इज फॉर द कैविटी.
four. The one in my
आप
home
कितना,
has four.
हाँ
The one in my home has four, but I think it differs from mold to mold.
हाँ.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you are right. The smaller idlis का dies है, these are of 4 cavities and it is as high as 8 cavities which are used in घर में. Okay, domestic purpose. Of course, if you go to the hotels, then you will find bigger dies. So that is what is called the dies and molds. तो dies and molds में हम लोग क्या करते हैं, इडली का जो आटा है वो उसमें हम लोग डाल देते हैं, बराबर, and then it takes the form or it takes the shape of that cavity, isn't it? Similarly, you have अभी गणपति फेस्टिवल है तो उसका मोदक, so उसका भी डाइज आता है मोदक का. So so the applications are wide. So in this, is there any formation of chips? There are no formation of the chips here. So that's why it is called the chipless process. So forging बोलो, casting बोलो, या आपका injection molding बोलो, blow molding बोलो, it's all very beautiful processes in which you will also often come across with this word, that is die and mold. Anybody can tell me the difference between die and mold? Those who are having some, industrial background or those who have family business or workshop, they may be knowing it. Or those who have studied technical subjects, they may be aware. Difference between die and mold. Molding engineers, isn't it? What is that? Is what our policy is. Father Agnelka, molding engineers. I can mold him the way I want. Uh, Means what? What do you mean by this? I can mold him the way I want. Means I will develop an object or develop a human the way I want. Okay. उसमें उसको मैं सांचे में से निकालूंगा, बराबर है, मेरे ढंग से निकालूंगा. So dyes basically are used on presses like blanking, piercing. I don't know whether you understand this blanking or piercing. Anybody knows? Anybody is familiar with this blanking or piercing, which is done on the die, or coining operation or bending operation, which are done on presses. So for that also you need to use a die. Okay. So the device which is used on press to form the shape is called the die. And coming to the mold, molds again it is a device which gives or shape to the product, and which is used on molding machines, injection molding, blow molding, transfer molding, powder metallurgy. Those are called as the basically molds, injection molding, blow moldings. The name itself, injection molding, injection mold, blow molding, blow mold, transfer molding, transfer mold. Okay. So those are called as the molds, and which are used on the press floor, those are called as the dies. This is a basic difference. Okay. Where the blow molding is used? Anybody? What are the applications of blow molding? Anybody?
Composites.
Blow molding का साकिब बोलिए.
Used in making composites.
Used in making composites. No, blow molding normally all these आपका जो bottles रहते हैं ना, पेट bottles बोलो,
अच्छा हाँ, पेट बॉटल्स के अंदर
या आपका ड्रिंकिंग वाटर्स बोलो, all these bottles, हाँ, anything which is hollow, या आपका कैन मालूम है ना, कैन
एल्यूमिनियम.
एल्यूमिनियम कैन बोलो, या आपका इसका तेल का कैन बोलो, गैलन्स पानी का 20 लीटर का कैन, तो ऑल ब्लो मोल्डेड. हाँ, जो भी हॉलो का. हाउ टू मेक अ एग? ओके.
So what, sir?
हाउ टू मेक एन एग, हॉलो एग, एग
Egg.
एग
Egg.
एग यार, एग, बैदा, ई डबल जी.
Uh,
Hollow egg.
sir,
हाउ
first
टू
we
हाउ टू मेक
make
एन
The
एग?
vacuum जैसे you just provide like vacuum bag वाला process you can use. Just blow.
वैक्यूम बैग, मतलब आई वांट टू मेक अ कंपोनेंट लाइक एग, थिन शेल कंपोनेंट, और बाहर से यू हैव सीन एग्स, नो?
Yes, sir.
उसके ऊपर बाहर से कुछ दिखता है क्या, कुछ ऐसा वेल्डिंग मार्क्स ऐसा लगता है क्या, कुछ दो पीस लिया उसको वेल्डिंग किया या ब्रेजिंग किया या सोल्डरिंग किया, ऐसा दिखता है बाय
नहीं
एनी
sir.
टाइम? सो लाइक दैट आई वांट टू मेक एन एग. सो विच प्रोसेस यू विल यूज? थिंक एंड लेट मी नो इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास. ओके.
Okay.
So stamping is nothing but the operation which is done in press. Shaping, now this shaping and that chip wala shaping, these are different. Okay. This shaping is giving the shape to the product. Embossing मतलब you are raising a letter, like आपका जो belt है, उसके ऊपर जो letters है, those are embossed. या आपके gift articles है, they are all embossed. Then forming processes. Okay, so forming processes are this: casting, molding, forging, extrusion. So these are all forming processes. Okay. So forming processes are also chipless processes. Casting में chips form होता है, molding में I have given a fair idea, isn't it? Of casting, molding, forging, इसमें chip form होता है क्या?
No, sir.
Extrusion,
No, sir.
can you give me a routine example of extrusion? Routine example. Like you go for toothbrush and what you do? You take a toothpaste, और टूथपेस्ट को हम लोग दबाते हैं. ओके, एंड देन यू गेट अ पेस्ट, isn't it? So what is that process? That process is nothing
The
but extrusion. Okay. You are extruding the paste. Drawing मतलब जो not sketching. What do you mean by drawing? बड़ा वायर है,
pulling.
सपोज या 10 मिलीमीटर का वायर है, या so what is the difference between extrusion and drawing? Drawing मतलब पुल करता है और extrusion मतलब पुश करते हैं, बराबर है. एक्सट्रूजन मतलब धक्का मारना, पुश. ड्राइंग मतलब पुल, खींचना. एंड देन स्वेजिंग इज डन, इट्स वन ऑफ द टाइप of forging operation. Okay. Then there are generating processes. Generating processes are called as chip forming process, gear hobbing. आपको गियर मालूम है ना, गियर? हाँ या ना?
हाँ
Yes,
सर।
अगर
yes,
नहीं
sir.
मालूम तो
Yes,
Yes,
बोलो
sir.
sir.
नहीं, हाँ नहीं मालूम है नहीं बोलो, अदरवाइज आई विल टेक ग्रांटेड दैट हाँ आपको मालूम है, एंड देन आई विल गो धड़ 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 हाँ AK-47 जैसा. So gear hobbing, gear shapings, these are the processes which are used for cutting the gears. And why it is called the generating processes? Because the profile, the gear tooth profile is generated. What are the gear tooth profile? I'm sure you are learned in engineering drawing. Basically, it is involute profile or cycloidal profile, correct? Involute or cycloidal profile. So that involute profile and cycloidal profile is generated by the principle of generating. What is the principle of generating? That is, if the two gears they roll on their PCD, then they will either generate an involute or they will generate cycloidal. Okay. So gear hobbing and gear shaping are used for cutting gear teeth, whereas gear teeth grinding is not used for cutting the gear teeth, it is used for finishing the gear teeth. Okay, so these are the chipless and the chip removal processes. Okay. ठीक है, any doubt so far?
No, sir.
Please feel free. So processing operations are classified under shaping operations. So shaping operations. So is it chipless or chip removal process? Come on, please be fast. So it depends. Okay, so shaping here it is slightly vague. If it is gear shaping or if it is shaping machine which is in the machine shop, then it is chip removal process. But sometimes shaping operations, casting or forging, they are also called as a shaping operation because it gives the shape to the product. So that's why it is called the shaping operation. So in that case, it is chipless. Then property enhancing operations, which change the properties. Is painting is a property enhancing operation? Hello?
Surface.
Painting, is it a property enhancing operation? पेंटिंग मालूम है ना? हाँ
Yes, sir. It
हाँ,
can prevent
बिल्डिंग को
the.
पेंटिंग करते हैं, घर को पेंटिंग करते हैं. इज इट अ प्रॉपर्टी एनहांसिंग ऑपरेशन?
Yes, sir, because it can
Sir,
prevent
surface
corrosion.
processing.
हाँ, इट इज सरफेस प्रोसेसिंग एज वेल एज इट इज प्रॉपर्टी है ना, दोनों भी होते हैं. हम लोग उसको क्लीन करते हैं, ट्रीटमेंट करते हैं, हाँ, पुट्टी भरती है, बराबर ना, लांबी भरते हैं. सो दोज आर ऑल सरफेस प्रोसेसिंग होते हैं. बाद में उसमें हम लोग क्या करते हैं, पेंट करते हैं. तो पेंट से क्या होता है, हाँ, लीक प्रूफ हो जाता है, हाँ, पानी अंदर नहीं
Corrosion
जाएगा,
resistant.
corrosion रेजिस्टेंट हो जाता है, उसका एस्थेटिक प्रॉपर्टी भी बढ़ता है. सो दिस इज अ प्रॉपर्टी एनहांसिंग ऑपरेशन. ओके, so this is what I was talking about, shaping processes. So shaping processes are again classified under solidification, particulate, deformation and material removal. Okay, so I told you, no, directly shaping process आप बोल नहीं सकते कि it is chipless or chip removal. You have to see solidification. So starting material is castings etc. है, those are all solidification processes. Particulate processing, that is basically powder metallurgy, or even plastic injection molding, that is also particulate processing. So this is again a chipless. Deformation, ड्राइंग बोलो, रोलिंग बोलो, जहाँ पे मेटल डिफॉर्म होते हैं. एंड देन मटेरियल रिमूवल प्रोसेस. सो फर्स्ट थ्री आर योर चिपलेस एंड दिस इज योर चिप रिमूवल. फोर्थ इज चिप रिमूवल. ठीक है, all right, we'll stop here and we'll continue tomorrow. Any doubt if you have, please ask, or you can take your break.
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Yeah, please ask. Speak
Sir,
loudly.
sir,
थोड़ा
hello,
माइक्रोफोन थोड़ा नीचे
hello, sir, sir,
नजदीक ले लो.
hello, hello, sir.
हाँ
The
हाँ ओमकार, मोठ्याने बोल, मोठ्याने बोल.
सर जे तुम्ही नोट्स प्रोव्हाइड कराल ते इनफ असतील ना एक्झामसाठी?
नोट्सच रिफर करा आणि ॲट द मोस्ट यू कॅन रिफर दॅट प्रोडक्शन इंजिनिअरिंग बाय PC शर्मा, दॅट्स ऑल. नाही तर हे होणार नाही, बिकॉज every topic is like you have to study like Bible, Mahabharat, Quran and all this. It's like whole of this.
ओके सर, थँक्यू.
Most welcome.
So can you just type it out in the classroom, the book reference?
I'll upload this so there you can refer.
Yes, sir.
Or it is just simple, it is production engineering by PC Sharma.
Okay.
You want me to still type it down
Yes, sir. That would be good.
here? No.
No, sir. Classroom.
Okay, awesome. Okay, fine. Shall we stop?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sandra, you just send me your phone number. Huh?
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.